Ugh, robot bugs. God, pesky little nuisances. Sometimes my life just gets covered in them. Ugh. But anyway, welcome again my super secret science seekers. As you can see, I was just about to get started on some gardening. I'm sure as you can also see, I'm not particularly good at it. But I do love plants. I find them extraordinary. And one of my favourite things about them is the way that they eat to grow. You see, of course, plants don't have mouths like you and I do. They can't actively eat any sort of food. So instead, they're able to convert light into energy. And that particular energy is what we refer to as ATP, or the long version, adenosine triphosphate. And this is all done within tiny, tiny little subunits within the cells of plants called chloroplasts. I'm going to explain to you exactly how this extraordinary method, photosynthesis, works. Within plant cells are chloroplasts, and within chloroplasts are coiled-looking structures called thylakoids. Now, if you were to look way deep into the membrane of the thylakoid down to the molecular level, you would have something like what we have here. So, these are two photosystems, photosystem 2 and photosystem 1. Now, all these little green dots are my pigment molecules. Pigment refers to the colour that we see from it. So to start our reaction, we're going to need light. So light comes over and strikes a pigment molecule. Now as that happens, the electron on that pigment molecule jumps up. And what goes up must come down, right? But as he's coming down, his friend electron over here also jumps up. And then his friend over here jumps up, and he does it too, and he does too. They're jumping up to higher energy states. And this energy is transferred between the different pigment molecules until it reaches this special one in the reaction complex center. So, the special thing with this little electron is that when he jumps up, he's accepted by the primary acceptor, and then he doesn't come back down. Now this causes a problem because our chlorophyll A molecule here has a hole. It needs to have the electron. It's going to get really lonely. So, in order to get that, we're going to need water. Water comes in, and when water is split, we get an electron that can take the place of the other electron. And not just that, but we also get oxygen. The oxygen is released into the atmosphere and it allows us to breathe. It's what we need as humans to survive, just like all animal creatures. So, let's get back to our little electron up here. So he's been accepted, and he's going to start a pretty special journey down what we call the electron transport chain. This chain is very important because that's what's going to create our energy. We call that energy ATP. And for any of you really smart boffins out there, ATP stands for adenosine triphosphate. You see, as this electron goes through the electron transport chain, he creates a proton gradient. And the proton gradient is what creates our adenosine triphosphate, our energy. And that right there is how the plant creates chemical energy out of light energy. Now the story doesn't end there. Our little electron goes down to our photosystem 1, which is his destination, and then he is able to help the other electrons to create more energy. But this energy isn't ATP, it's NADP. And all of that will go into the Calvin cycle and will thus complete our photosynthesis process.